Hello everyone, I'm Jeff Hampton with the Fulgham Law Firm. How do you non-disclose your criminal record? That's what we're going to talk about here today. And by the way, if you wait around till the end of our video, I'm going to give you a free ebook, What to Do If You Have Been Charged with a Crime in Texas. Now, I did a previous video on expunctions. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about a non-disclosure. Now, many people don't use that term non-disclosure, but I hear other people refer to it as sealing their criminal record. Let's talk about the difference a little bit. And just as a quick recap, remember what an expunction is. An expunction is when your case has been completely and totally dismissed, or your case was no billed by a grand jury, or you were found not guilty, okay? That is in that situation, and that is a complete and total destruction of all the records. Now, a non-disclosure is when you are trying to seal your criminal record as a result of a successful completion of a deferred adjudication probation. Now, here's the number one thing. So you say, wait a minute, how do I know? Is it an expunction or a non-disclosure? Well, first ask yourself this. Did you agree to take a deferred adjudication probation? If you did, then you can never get an expunction unless you took a deferred adjudication on a ticket, a Class C ticket, okay? Now, if you took a deferred adjudication on a Class B misdemeanor or greater, misdemeanor or felony charge, now you are talking about a deferred adjudication. So that's number one. Did you take deferred adjudication? Number two, is it a qualifying offense? Does your offense qualify for a non-disclosure? Now, I'm going to go over some of the most common crimes that are not eligible for a non-disclosure. So one of those is capital murder, most sexual offenses, aggravated kidnapping, injury to a child or the elderly, a violation of a protective order, assault, family violence. Now, why does that matter? That matters because if you take deferred adjudication on those types of charges, you cannot get those records sealed from your permanent criminal record. So there are certain misdemeanor crimes that require a waiting period, and there are some rules related to that. Sometimes you have to wait as much as 2 years before you're eligible on certain types of misdemeanor charges. Other types like theft, basic misdemeanor theft, basic marijuana charges, things like that, you can immediately be eligible for a non-disclosure upon completion of the deferred adjudication. Now, if you do qualify for a non-disclosure, the next thing you need to do is file a petition for a non-disclosure. Now, here's the way it works. If the judge signs the order, which there's usually a filing fee, you're talking about several $100s in filings fee. It's usually closer to around $300 or more that you'd have to pay a filing fee to the county. The judge would then sign the order after your attorney goes to the hearing, and then the clerk would send a copy of the order to the Crime Record Service of the Department of Public Safety within 15 business days. Then the Texas Department of Public Safety is then required to seal any criminal history information within 10 days of receiving that order, and then they must send that order or information to state officials and entities so that all of these agencies are aware that that information has been sealed. So the state officials and entities must then seal any criminal history within 30 business days of receiving that order. All of this, if you want to look it up, is covered under the Texas Government Code, section 411.081. So the question is this. I'm going to cover 6 quick requirements under the Government Code, section 411.081, in order for you to file a non-disclosure. Number 1, you were placed under a deferred adjudication probation under Article 4212 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. You were discharged and dismissed. And all that really means is this. You were placed on a deferred adjudication that you were qualified to get a non-disclosure. Number 2, you finished your probation. Here's the key thing. There are many people who were on probation, but they never finished it. If you don't finish it and you get sentenced in some other way, you cannot get a non-disclosure. So you must be on deferred, number 1. Number 2, you must finish your probation and be discharged and dismissed from that probation. Then number 3, the petition must be filed after the waiting period, if any applies. Number 4, during the period of your community supervision, you did not pick up another offense. You didn't get in trouble for any new offenses. Okay, you understand there's some nuance to this. There's some certain rules. So you have to not only complete the deferred, you need to make sure that you didn't get in any trouble while you were on that deferred adjudication probation. Number 5, you were not placed on deferred adjudication and had not been previously convicted or placed on deferred adjudication during your term of probation. Then number 6, and here's the catch-all for everything, is the non-disclosure in the interest of justice, okay? Well, let me tell you this. The interest of justice part is usually not as big of a concern if the other 5 elements are met. That's the key. You got to make sure the first 5 elements are met. So here's my point. Maybe you're sitting back saying, wait a minute, I did get a deferred adjudication in the past. I'm pretty sure that everything was taken care of. You might want to be sure. You might want to make sure. And if you don't ever remember paying an attorney or going into a hearing on your own and making sure that that order of non-disclosure was taken care of, there's a good chance the reason why you haven't been able to get the job you were really hoping to get, or maybe you've been passed over for some type of advancement, may be because the employer sees this on your criminal record. So if you would like some assistance, if you're in the North Texas area, don't hesitate to contact the Fulgham Law Firm at 817-877-3030. By the way, I promised you if you waited around to the end of the video, I'll give you that free ebook, What to Do If You've Been Charged with a Crime in Texas. Click the link below and I'll be happy to send it right over to you. And if you like what you've heard here today, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like this video. We'll be happy to send you more great content just like this. Thanks again.